so kind, staring out into space, asking God to hear my case, trying to think of all things past. How long will my memory last? But purple angel, purple angel, purple angel, you're next to me.
Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to Alzheimer Speaks Radio. I'm Lori LeBay, the host and founder of Alzheimer Speaks. For those of you that are new to our show, I'm just going to take a brief moment here and tell you a little bit about us. Bottom line, Alzheimer Speaks is an advocacy-based company providing multiple platforms to shift our dementia care from crisis to comfort around the world. We believe that by joining forces and sharing knowledge and just having these everyday conversations about life with dementia, that we're going to be able to remove some of the stigmas and help people live a better life with the disease. At our core, we also believe that collaboration is the only way we're going to win the battle against dementia, and we know that that is working. Thanks to all of you. All of your likes, your clicks, your shares have really had a phenomenal reach. And when you share the information that we have at Alzheimer Speaks, if it's our blog, if it's our resource directory, if it's our dementia chats, which are videos where our experts have dementia, the radio information that we put out, like the cruise that we're doing, it just it raises the elevation in people's minds in your own spheres. If it's Twitter, if it's Facebook, if it's Pinterest, if it's your LinkedIn colleagues, or just your circle of family and friends and coworkers. It gets the conversation going, and that's really what we're all about here on Alzheimer Speaks. And thanks to all of you, we were lucky enough to be named the #1 influencer online by ShareCare and Dr. Oz. And we've also now been recognized as an architect of change, according to Maria Shriver. So again, I want to thank all of you for your love and your support in helping raise awareness, because it really is quite impactful. Today, we're going to have a really interesting show. We are going to be talking with Joey Chandler, who is the founder of UR Videos. And before I introduce him, though, I have to tell you how thrilled I am to have Lori Shearer with us, who is living with dementia, and she's really just an inspiration to us all. So welcome, Lori. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm great, Lori. Thank you for having me on.
Well, I'm excited to have you. Can you give people a little bit of background in terms of when you got diagnosed and what kind of dementia diagnosis you have?
In August of 2013, I was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's and FTD, which is frontotemporal dementia. Since then, my husband and I have made it our goal to try and find what obstacles keep us from doing things and trying to find ways to overcome them in order to keep my dementia somewhat under control.
Okay. Well, great. Well, like I said, today we're going to be talking with Joey Chandler, and he's the founder of UR Videos. And he basically turns our smartphone selfies into a lifetime tribute in terms of videos. So he can do this for birthdays and weddings and anniversaries, or just life in general, living with dementia, or, family, as just kind of creating that legacy and holding that on for us. So Joey is now working with both hospice and Alzheimer's organizations to show basically those that are dealing with the disease, how his work can really impact their world and help families, stay together and maintain memories and be able to share those. So welcome, Joey.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I'm excited to have you on the show. Before we get started, I always like to ask our guests, have you ever been personally touched by dementia in your own circle of family or friends?
Yeah, my grandfather passed probably about 10, 15 years ago from Alzheimer's, and he had a very, very long, a long illness, and it was really hard on my grandmother and my mother. And so when I started doing these videos, it was in the back of my mind, but then very quickly going like, this is sort of this is not just a job for me, but kind of a family tribute to my grandfather, but more importantly also to my mother and grandmother who worked so hard when my grandfather was sick.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So can you tell us, when you started this, were they really the reasons that you started doing UR videos, or was it something else that was the trigger?
Yeah, it was a gift from my wife, actually. It was 5 or 6 years ago. I needed a gift for my wife, and I had it was her birthday, and I had seen work that she had done putting together what I call a kind of a classic video where you pull in photos and words and stuff for people. Mm-hmm. And she had done one for her mother, and it just took her a ton of work. It was so much, and I had one of those there has to be a better way moments. And so what I did was I sent an email out to all her friends and family and asked them to send back a very short video clip saying, Sue is, and then whatever she meant to them. Mm-hmm. Amazing, beautiful, great friend. And when they all came back and we put them all together, it became this video that was honestly remarkable. And it was way more powerful than I expected. And when we showed it to her at a birthday party, she was just blown away. Mm-hmm. And then from there, people started asking me to do them for their grandmothers and their husbands and wives. And a few years ago, I started as a full-time business. And so now we do videos for people all across the country. And we've started to do them for people with Alzheimer's and in hospice because they just provide something unique and special for those folks.
Okay. Well, it's an interesting concept to be able to do that. I know, I mean, I just think of how many times I hear of people talking about their photos on their phone and they're there 1 minute and they're gone the next. And, they're up in the cloud and they don't know how to get it back out of the cloud because they don't remember, the code or something has changed, something has swallowed it up and taken it down kind of the black hole. And people are just crushed, at those moments because they're so important to us. So can you tell us a little bit about, how do you pick and choose the videos? I mean, do people just go, here's access to all my photos, have at it? Or, what's the process with this?
Yeah, it's actually much more simpler than that. What do I do is when a client, when we're going to do a video, say for your grandmother or your mother, mm-hmm. you would give me a list of emails mm-hmm. of her friends and family. Uh-huh. And then I send out a series of emails to them introducing the project and explaining what they're going to do. And honestly, all they're going to do is pick up their smartphone and say, grandma is, and then a few words, amazing, brilliant, my best friend, or my inspiration, just a few words like that. And then we have a direct upload area where the people can upload their videos. And then we take all of those, put them together, and then you receive it via Dropbox. And then you can play it on your computer or TV at the birthday party, or if it's for someone with Alzheimer's, in their room. Okay. And what this does is it allows the community to express their love for somebody in a way that just isn't done on a day-to-day basis. Mm-hmm. On a day-to-day basis, we just don't have the opportunity to say why someone's special to us in kind of a fun, interesting way. And that other people are doing it. Mm-hmm. So when you put it all together, it just lets a person know that they matter. And I think at the end of life, or really any of us, we just want to know that we've mattered, that we've touched the lives of people, that we've improved the world. And these videos show that in a way that is just remarkable and special and just works. And that's why I keep doing them, day in and day out. Okay.
So, because I was thinking, like you said, it's much easier than trying to figure out photos because this is
yep.
real and it's something that they haven't seen before. So it's impactful and it's thoughtful And yet when you say, one of the things you said is, well, everyone's doing it. It kind of takes the scary out of it, I would think, too. Knowing this isn't just you. This is going to be small snippets of a lot of people. And because I would imagine there's some people that go, I'm not good at that, or I don't know what to say. Do you ever get that from people?
Absolutely. And that's why the script that I give is super short. Is simply, such name is, and then 3 or 4 words. Because what I found through experimenting, when I ask bigger questions, like tell us something you love about the person, or what is one memory you have of that person, what happens is people start to think. And I found out that most of us can't speak authentically and just relaxed for more than a few seconds on video. We all start to stumble and fumble with our words. But when you just say, here are a few words, just say a few words about this person, everybody can do that. And the people that love to talk, well, they're going to talk no matter what. So they ignore my directions. But for the vast majority of people, having a nice short structure, just a few seconds, actually really helps them authentically and with full love express what that person means to them.
Oh, I can see where that would work really, really well. Lori, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, how long is the typical video, Joey? And then is it cost-wise? Is that based on the number of people? Like if I give you 5,000 email addresses, how do you decipher how long the clip should be?
Yeah, everyone. I haven't had 5,000 people yet, so that would be a unique experience. But everybody starts off with what I call my base package, which is an 8-minute video, and that costs $300. And then as it goes up between 12 and then 16 and then up to 20 minutes, it goes up $200. So there's like levels. And what I found is I cut it off at 20 minutes. The video is just too long at that point.
Yep.
And so most videos range somewhere between the 8 and 16 minutes. And that allows for between 30 and 50 people to contribute.
Okay.
So and the really wonderful part about all of that is that people can contribute from anywhere in the world. So, we have, you work with dementia patients who are living here where I live in Northern California, but their family is, in North Dakota or Washington or Colorado, and they all can say something and put it together, and then that person can watch the video over and over again. So it makes for just a nice reminder and allows for the community to come together.
Okay.
8 minutes is a good video. I've been at like weddings and stuff where they have this 20-minute thing going on, and after the first 10 minutes, you're like, okay, I've seen enough of that.
Yeah, no, I've been there too. But the interesting part is, I only have, my audience is only one person, and that's the person receiving the video. And we all love to hear our name. Like, I don't think any of us gets tired of hearing about how wonderful we are. So we can play so it works for them to have it up to 20 minutes. And the beauty of it, and this is when I actually did a video for my mom's birthday, what she does is she watches the video now every month or two. And as she, different parts in her life, as different things are happening to her on a day-to-day basis, she hears different aspects of the video. She may have missed what one person says, but now because for whatever reason she's reminded of something, like she connects with that person. So it's this really nice way the video has this way of being always new for the person as they watch it throughout, when they receive it, and then for every time after that.
Okay. I could see with my mom with dementia, she would have loved something like this. I think, gosh, if we would have done, we did a 49 and a half year anniversary because we knew my dad wasn't going to live till their 50th. And that would have been so cool to capture people as they came in and just have them make a comment, because I know we had a photo album that she looked at and just, got great joy. But when you add in the sound, it would just have a whole different impact there with that.
Yep, absolutely. Yes.
Very, very neat idea. Now, as far as doing this, do people have to be in any geographic location, or everything is kind of technology, sent through technology, so there really aren't any barriers regarding that? How does that work?
That's actually one of the reasons why I created this model, is because I wanted to be able to help people all over. And if people just have to go to my website, which is www.ur.video, and they sign up, and from there we collect the emails that they send out. We send out all the emails, so you can be anywhere and organize it for a person anywhere. Like I had one person who was in Australia organize a video for a birthday for her best friend who lived in Northern California. And it turned out that best friend had a ton of friends and family in South Africa. Mm-hmm. And we were able to get all those people together and show it to them.
Oh, cool.
And so it's just remarkable. And the one question I get a lot is, well, I don't know if my grandma or my friends know how to use a cell phone. And the funny part is, when I started this 5 or 6 years ago, there was a challenge of getting, people to use smartphones and make videos. Mm-hmm. But now, as far as I can tell, most everyone is they either have a smartphone or they have a friend that does. Mm-hmm. And I get it for a couple of like the 90th and 95th birthdays I've done. I get the cutest thing where we'll have somebody who's like 60 or 70 saying, "This is my first video selfie, and I want to be like you when I grow up." We'll put that in there. It's just awesome. So there's really the technology barrier just makes it so easy. And not everyone that we send an email to responds. We get about maybe a 60% response rate. So not everyone's going to respond. And no matter how easy it is, some people just won't respond. And that's okay, mm-hmm. because we get enough people all together that are able to express the love for that person from the community.
Mm-hmm. So,
can you also? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Lori.
Can you also add a picture to it? For example, if I was doing it for my dad and I wanted a picture from their wedding, can you add a still shot as well?
Yes, we add a few. I generally don't add a lot though, and the reason is because as soon as you start putting photos in, it becomes a historical. It's very hard not to become a historical video. Like, this is my life. Mm-hmm. And my videos are more about the impact that the person has on a community and the whole community expressing their love for that person. Mm-hmm. And so the grouping is very random. It's not like any one person. So I want that person, like, every time hearing it new, like, oh yeah. And if they start to expect, well, these are all my childhood friends together, mm-hmm. and these are all my family together, it creates a routine. And I want to create that newness and novelty every time they watch it. So we do add a few. We just don't add a lot.
Okay. Well, yeah, because that puts a whole nother level in terms of how to sort through things, where with this, you can kind of almost throw them in just as they come in, I would imagine, from a production ease process, or do you really listen and try to figure out placement? Do you think that makes a difference?
Yeah, there definitely is a little bit of an art to putting it together, and we, I try to have the family up front, and there's a certain kind of way to do it, but I purposely don't go out of my way to label where each person is. Is this a friend? Is this a coworker? Is it this? I don't go out of my way to make it super tight. There's kind of a natural flow that we get to, and that's the expertise that I bring after doing several hundred of these videos, mm-hmm. is to be able to put it together in a way that the person's going to watch it and be blown away, mm-hmm. by tears.
Okay. Now, is it something that do people get it in a digital format, or do they get a DVD, or how does that work? Can you purchase extra ones, or is it just a link? How does it work?
Yeah, so that it's a great question. When I first started doing this, my original idea was to send everyone a DVD when it got completed. Mm-hmm. But what I found is that people don't respond until the last minute anyway. Mm-hmm. So I'm producing the video to within a couple of days of when the event is that they're going to show it at. Mm-hmm. So what I do now is I just deliver everything via Dropbox, and people can download the video to their computer and then they can play it on their computer, their tablet, and they can also put it onto a thumb drive and put it onto, play it in any modern television.
Okay.
And then as a way to complete the project, this doesn't happen all the time, but I suggested is after the recipient has watched the video a couple times, I asked my client to just video him or her saying thank you to everybody who contributed.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do that, they'll send me back that video. I will send that video with a link to an online version of the video out to everybody who's contributed, so they can see everything.
Okay. Cool.
And can I say one thing about the community aspect of it, actually?
Oh, absolutely not. No, of course you can.
And because this is one of the things that actually has revealed itself to me.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't my intention when I started it, but it became, and it really showed up when I did a video for a woman who was in hospice from breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
She was in her last month or so, and we did a video for her, and they showed it at a end of life party. And what a woman told me is, and I'm almost basically saying what she said verbatim, is that she said, it's really hard to know what to say when someone reaches that point in their life. Do you say too much? Do you say too little? And what she said, it gave me great joy watching the video because I said a little bit, but the whole community was able to say everything there was, all the reasons we loved her.
Mm-hmm.
And me knowing that she saw that gave me great, great joy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, especially with the clients I have that are living with Alzheimer's and dementia, it's so hard on the family. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned this a lot in your podcast, and it's a struggle, right? It's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a way for everybody to express their love for people in a very simple sort of way. And it helps bring people together, at least for a moment, and express their love for that person. And it heightens the community aspect of things.
Well, and don't you think that it gets people thinking about appreciating one another? I mean, just a simple thing like this, it just opens up your world to how important it is to tell people how you feel and to show gratitude and to say thanks and to realize the impact it has for, excuse me, here I go with my cough again, the impact it has on not only the individual receiving it, because I can imagine it being pretty emotional watching for everybody together, but just making people, and not even making them, but just a natural reflection that people would have on their own life of, life is good and we all have impact and we're all pretty powerful and it's up to us on how we choose to use our power of influence in this life that we live. And to me, I would think that it would really help the greater community step back and go, wow, how cool. How cool is this?
Absolutely. And the thing that the videos really show, and this is that we are all way more powerful and way more talented and way more impactful than we can ever imagine.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because there's two parts that happen. Because this is the part of showing the video that I absolutely is my favorite part. To see we all have an internal wall. Mm-hmm. Right, Lori. When someone tells you like, "Oh my gosh, you are amazing! You do this incredible podcast. You help everybody. You do all these different things. You're so passionate. You're a wonderful speaker." Have you ever had that? And people kind of, it kind of bounces off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you've probably done it to other people, right? You tell them amazing, and you know that they don't get it.
Yeah.
And that's because we have that in some wall that whatever it is about being human, that we have a wall. But when you have 10 or 20 or 30 of your best people all saying I love you in all
Mm-hmm.
sorts of different ways, that wall comes down and out comes tears of joy and laughter and oh my God, how'd you do this? And just this incredible opening. And so, when that happens, they're actually able to hear and take in all the statements of love and appreciation and gratitude that they're receiving. They're actually able to take it in at a whole different level.
Mm-hmm.
And after you see the video, what happens is that wall, they're human, So the wall goes right back up, relatively quickly, but there's a crack in it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a crack in it, and there's at no point they can ever deny that they have touched the lives of dozens and dozens of people in all sorts of ways.
Mm-hmm.
And what occurred to me is, if I were to interview everybody's life, like if I were to interview everybody in your life, all the people you've ever interacted with, all the people that you've ever had done business with, or friends, that there would be a near infinite number of ways to describe you.
Mm-hmm.
If you've ever thought, I need to be more focused or more determined or more whatever in your life, chances are you've already been that. And I realized that I in doing these videos, because I didn't start this to be an appreciation guy or a gratitude guy. In doing these videos, I realized that whatever I think I need to be, I've already been, and it's just a matter of fostering that and kind of, feeding that flame
Mm-hmm.
so that I can move forward. And I think it's a beautiful statement for the world. It gives me a whole new sense of humanity. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's so much possible if we just do what we know to do and realize how amazing we all are.
Yeah. Very cool. Lori, what are your comments to what he's talking about?
I think the exciting part would be watching the person watching the video. Do you ever get an opportunity to see videos of the people getting excited watching the video?
I have, when I first started this off, I always encouraged my clients to do that. But this is what I realized. What it did was it took away from my client watching the video. Or because to video someone in a dark room takes some work. It takes them a professional level to do it well. And so what I just tell my clients is just to be with their loved one, enjoy that moment, and then watch the video afterwards. I kind of think that that's a special private moment, and so I don't go out of my way to see that. But in the few that I've done personally, like for my family, it's absolutely a wonderful joy. Like when there's a moment where they're like, oh, this is nice, and it just, that wall breaks down, and it's just an amazing experience to see that, because out comes their true greatness and their true beauty, and that's one of the reasons why I love doing it for people with Alzheimer's and dementia, and is that in doing people that are ill and in hospice, what I realize is that, these are amazing people. Lori, I'm just going to say you're this amazing person. I don't know you well, but I'm assuming that you were. You're this amazing person, and then you get this diagnosis. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden your world changes, and people start relating to you as your disease.
Yep.
And, we do that to people. We relate to them as their disease rather than the incredible, awesome, brilliant, lovable, sassy, these are all words that I use, that I hear in the emails, all these different things. We don't relate to them as that way. Mm-hmm. And this gives people a chance to relate back to that person's greatness. And it's just a beautiful time.
Neat.
That sounds beautiful. I live by pictures. That's how I remember things. I won't remember yesterday if I don't have pictures of yesterday. So we have right now on my laptop, I have 14,000 some pictures.
That's a lot of pictures.
Yeah, we take pictures every time somebody comes to visit me. Every time we go somewhere, we take pictures so that I can remember them, and I look back on them frequently so that I can somewhat remember them better. So I think the idea of a video like that, where everybody's just saying something about how you have impacted my life, is just an awesome idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's way cool. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, one of the times we did this for a woman who had very severe dementia, and she was living at a home, and the video, she responded so well to the video that it actually ended up being part of her daily regime. Mm-hmm. Her doctors and caregivers now show it to her every day as a way to just, make her feel good, release some of the tension, make her laugh. Her son, when he said, he played it, he said, my mom laughed and cried and chuckled. Those were his words. Mm-hmm. Laughed, cried, and chuckled for the first time in forever. Mm-hmm. And then when he asked her, why did she like the video so much? She said, well, because everyone is there. And, you know, when I heard that, of course, I was like, whoa, but it just revitalized I'm like, I need to get this, because my mission, my goal, what I see for the world is that I think no one should pass without knowing the difference they make in the world. And I just think the videos are just a great way to do that.
Very cool. I love this. I love the concept. And, you know, it's one of those things where family, we just get busy. And this is another thing on our to-do list. And I think sometimes it's easier to let go of control of something like this too, because, you know, we'll have our thoughts of what somebody should say. And this just lets it be real. You know, I think we can persuade, and our persuasion isn't always appreciated, you know, and, you know, doing it through a third party allows kind of a true, authentic voice of letting people say what they need to say, what's important for them to say. And I think it just ups the connection. Because, you know, there might be I could see somebody say, well, you shouldn't have said that, you know, that was silly. And yet it was so heartfelt. It was so appropriate for their relationship. You know, it might not be like your relationship, but it was perfect for their relationship. And it allows the audience to see, like you said, the expanse of who they've been involved with and how they've touched, you know, a variety of different people in terms of, you know, it might be age, it might be authenticity, it might be, you know, work, volunteerism. I mean, you get to see all these different pieces because so many of us don't know the whole person. You know, we work in that circle that we're in, if that's the family circle, if it's the close friend circle, if it's, you know, whatever it is. But hobbies and interests and, you know, it brings all of that together, so it allows the whole group to have a much better feel of who their friend is.
Yeah, absolutely. That actually reminded me in talking with some other experts in the Alzheimer's world, and they looked at the videos and said, you know, we could give this to our caregivers, you know, the people that come into the homes to help, because it will give that caregiver, that hired caregiver, a perspective into the difference that this person made when maybe that's not, you know, evident in the reality of right now. You know, someone's if someone is yelling or upset or frustrated, as happens, this video will give a kind of a grounding nature of who that person really is in their biggest moments. And this particular guy, that would be really helpful just to give some context to the caregiver coming in, so they know that, this guy's yelling right now, but he was this amazing pilot and traveled the world and helped all these people. Just a different perspective. Yeah,
very, very neat. If there was, one, I guess, bottom line, as to why you do this, what would you say it is?
Oh, it's that sense of, I want everyone to know they matter in their life. It is, when I look back at my life, I had always tried to do things what I said, quote, mattered. And I always struggled with, did my job in the tech industry really matter? Did that new app that we built, did that really matter? And I was, before this, I was a photographer, and I take amazing photos, and they're beautiful. But when I show this video, it impacts people in a way that is just way beyond any photography that I could do. And so I do these because I want everyone to know that they made a difference in the world, and that we all have way more skills and abilities and just traits and goodness than we give ourselves credit for.
Have you ever thought of, this is just another market idea, I always like to kind of brainstorm with people when we're on the show too. One of the things that I feel is needed so badly in this world is culture change in our work environments. Approaching large companies just to do an employee appreciation and go around and ask others, why do they matter? What do they appreciate in them? I think we don't say that. I think in many corporations it's not even thought about. And it's a critical piece of job retention, in trying to maintain your employees. It's a major piece of team building. And yet it is so undervalued on so many levels. And there's a lot of companies that'll do, employee of the month, and they get their picture plastered up, but it doesn't say anything about them. And I just think that could be a whole nother market to try to break into if a company really is focused on team building, which most of them say they are. This would be a creative avenue to help them build that. That's just my 2 cents from a training angle.
I think that's a great idea. I'm actually just right now doing a video for retirement, and people saying all those things. But I think that's a great idea of how to put it there. Put it out there. I hadn't actually thought of it that way, but I think that's a wonderful idea and definitely worth exploring. Thank you.
Well, you just never know with things,
That you never do.
So, Lori, do you have any other questions for?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Not a question, but a comment. I wish I had known about something like this before my father passed away, because at my father's funeral we had an open mic. And somebody stood up and said, I would never have graduated from college without Dick Ball because he paid for my entire 4 years of school.
Wow.
None of us ever knew that. Somebody else got up and said, if it wasn't for him, I would not be able to see today because I needed eye surgery. I couldn't afford it. He paid for my eye surgery, and because of him, today I can see.
Wow.
And a few other things like that although my parents had retired, sold or gave away everything they had and went to Africa as missionaries, and that was their giving spirit. So although we knew they did many things, the number of things that came out at his funeral during that open mic that we all just got goosebumps. We were like, I never knew he did that.
Wow.
And here was a gentleman who was in his probably in his early 50s, who was considered legally blind, but surgery could have corrected it, but he was a missionary and couldn't afford it. And my dad paid for his surgery, and consequently he went on and served on the mission field for 20 more years. And things like that we didn't know. Had we have done something like this when he was alive, I think it would have been a total shocker to many of us to see something like this. So I think it's an awesome idea to do something like this when someone's alive, that you can really appreciate that person rather than after they're gone, when you can't really say, Pop, you inspire me even more than I thought you did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the conversations I have with folks in hospice when I'm working with the hospice associations. Is that just like you said, like we've all been to funerals where people say these amazing things about the person, and you're left wondering, like, well, did anybody tell them before they passed?
Yep.
Did anyone let them know that the scope and the breadth? I mean, that's that your father sounds amazing. But did he really know how huge an impact he has? And so I'm trying to get the word out. And obviously when people are in hospice, it's a very, it's a tough situation. But if they do have a little bit of time, and my videos take about a month to do, which it takes, to gather all the information. So if somebody's in hospice and they're there for, maybe 2-3+ months, we can do a video, and then it can be shown either in their room or at a end of life celebration, and really let that person know just that, yes, your time is, it's the end for you, but we want to let you know that you played full out, you impacted the world. We're going to carry on, because of you, we're carrying on all these different things. And so we love you. I wanted to be able to give that gift to everybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's really very, very powerful. I'm thinking back to even when my mom was in hospice, or even the last 4 years of her life. She really couldn't communicate in terms of how we, think of communicating as being linear in a speech pattern only. But I know even on her last day, she would have taken it all in, even with her eyes closed, and just laying in her bed very still. Something like that plane would have been very powerful, and would have, I think. I don't know, for some, maybe it would make it hard for them to cross over hearing that, but maybe for others, it would make it real easy to say, my job is done,
Yeah, you never know, but the way I always say, like, obviously I can't promise that these videos will have any impact on a person at the end of their life or with Alzheimer's or dementia. Like, there's no medical, this has no medical real reason, but I have to imagine that showering somebody with love and appreciation and gratitude can only help. And that's kind of that's where I go. I'm like, let's just, like, I had one person who's like, I don't know if my mom will be able to hear this. She's really ill. I don't know if she's actually going to be able to understand it. And I said, let's just give it a try. Let's just see what happens. Mm-hmm. And we did it, and she burst into tears and loved it, and he was like, I was so amazed. He even had a situation where there was some strained relationships in the family as a result of the ongoing care, mm-hmm. which I think is not not unique to him. A lot of families have this, where there's just it's just all that strife and struggle and what to do. Mm-hmm. And he said, I don't know if people are going to respond to this, if they will contribute. And we got these videos, and I knew, like, when I got this one clip, I'm like, this is it. And it's her granddaughter. I think she was in Washington somewhere, and the granddaughter said, Grandma, I wouldn't be the woman I am today without you. You have mm-hmm. inspired me. You moved me, and I'm so thankful that you were my grandmother. Mm-hmm. And this was a young woman in college somewhere, and this was something that the client didn't expect to get, and so it just it was awesome. When I got that, I was like, this is it, and it was great. So I just say we give it a try, because no matter what, even if we get one video of someone saying I love you to grandma, that has to be worth it.
Yep.
Well, Joey, I'm thinking not just for someone with dementia, but just to show somebody your appreciation, such as a school teacher that's retiring, to do something like that, or someone, retiring from a business, to have people say how you impacted me, or to have the students say how much they meant, or if we could all pull the money together, something for Lori LeBay to say how much we appreciate her. Someone could,
absolutely.
How touching would that be to receive something like that, just to say, geez, we really appreciate you and thank you for all you've done. It's a very touching concept.
It really is.
Yeah, I've made every single one of my son's teacher burst into tears, because I do this for every class my son goes through. Mm-hmm. We do this at the end of the year for the teacher, and I've done it so many times now. My son's now he's in fourth grade, so we've done it 4 times, mm-hmm. and the principal of the school is like, this is the single greatest gift you can give a teacher, because mm-hmm. it's her 20 to 30 kids all saying why they love her or him, and hands down best present you can give a teacher. Absolutely. And we do it for baseball coaches, or junior athletic coaches, people who are giving, volunteers who we've done some where just a volunteer. It's just that person just shows up at a nonprofit or a community thing, just shows up day in and day out, not asking for help, but just makes a huge impact. We do a video for them, and it's just letting them know that they matter, they've made a difference, and it's just wonderful.
Yeah, I'm even thinking, my granddaughter's Girl Scout cookies, and I think, oh my gosh, the Girl Scout cookie dad who coordinates all those boxes that have infiltrated his house, and
yep.
doing all those things, that it's just like, it really takes a skill set and a commitment and a passion to just want to help out. There's just so many ways that this could be utilized, and I think it's wonderful. I think it's absolutely wonderful. Lori, do you have any last questions at all for Joey?
Now, I think I've asked them all, but I do think it's a great concept just for an inspiration, a thank you, an appreciation, or a remembering. I think it's a really, really nice gift to give somebody.
Yeah, I do too. And Joey, is there any last comments that you want to, anything you want to say to the audience at all?
Yeah, one, just thank you so much for this opportunity. You know, the work that you do, I was looking through all your podcasts, and the sheer depth and the breadth of all of your interviews are awesome. So I just want to applaud you for that. And Laurie, I hope I got your name right. The Laurie, not the Lori, right? Thank you so much for being on the call and being so upfront. You know, so many people are shy of sharing, saying to acknowledge that they have a certain disease. And I just applaud your strength and your courage and your gumption to do that. And the one thing that we didn't talk about was actually the caregivers. Mm-hmm. You know, these are the family caregivers. That one person or that one family who is dealing with the brunt of taking care of mom or dad or grandma, and how much, you know, they just put in so much work. This is kind of a personal mission of mine, is to get videos for them. Just let them know that they're appreciated and that all of their work is honored and seen and acknowledged and respected. So I'd love to do the video for the folks that are ill, but I also would really love to do a video for the family members who are just, you know, they didn't ask for their situation. They're doing all that hard work, because I think it's so so thankless at the end of the day, and so endless, that I would love to be able to get something for them. So if you're any of your audience, I just, if you are in that situation, one, I want to applaud you. You are doing God's work, and it's not seen, and I just want to applaud you for that. And if there's anything I can do to help bring joy to someone's life, it would be a great honor to do a video for you.
Very cool. One person you might want to connect with was just on our last show. We had Jen Chan on, and she is rolling out what she calls senior showers. And it's all about appreciating the caregivers and the care partners. And so you might want to just go to seniorshowerproject.com, seniorshowerproject.com, and connect with Jen. And Jen is with in two N's, so Jen at seniorshowerproject.com. Maybe there's a way for you guys to work together with that, because she's doing some cool things as well, and I think there could be some great tie-in or cross sales that you guys could even do that could really be magical. So just a thought there. And again, Joey, thank you so much for all you're doing and improving life and helping people express their gratitude and allowing others to kind of absorb what they've done in their lifetime. Because I think most of us just walk right past what we've done or who we've touched. And so many times it can be a perfect stranger. And many times it's people that are in our lives, but we take for granted. I don't think we appreciate it ourselves as much as we should. And I don't think it's spoken as much. And so I think you've got a great potential here to do an expansive business. And I wish you all the luck in the world. Now, people can reach Joey Chandler at URVideos at www.urvideo, and or you can email him at Joey, JOEY at URvideo. And do you want to give out a phone number, or is the website and email the best way, Joey?
Yeah, the website and email is the best way. And just to be clear, that's www.ur, it's YOUARE.video. And then it's joey@ur.video.
Which is exactly what I have in front of me, and I said it wrong. So thank you very much.
Well, you would not be the first one, so I just want to make sure. And you just let people know, or just everyone. It takes about 30 days to do the video. I would absolutely love it. And Lori, would you be okay if I gave a discount to your listeners?
Yeah, that would be great. That would be wonderful.
Awesome. So for all you listeners, if you go to my website, www.ur.video, and you'll go there, you go through the pricing and the sign up page. When you sign up, if you put in the coupon code Lori, Lori, you'll get a $50 discount on a video.
Oh, very cool. Well, thank you so much. We all appreciate that very, very much. So thank you so much for your time today, Joey. And Lori, thank you, as always, for co-hosting with me. You do a wonderful job, and I'm very excited because I'm going to finally get to meet her when we go on our cruise in November, which is open to anybody. We would love to have you join us on our beautiful Caribbean cruise with Holland America, November 11th through the 18th. And again, just go to alzheimerspeaks.com. You'll see a big graphic about it and click on that, and it'll take you to the page. But we've already got, we just started marketing this, and we've already got people signing up, and the excitement is kind of amazing. We're getting interest from people all around the world. So we would love to have you join us on that cruise. For our shows here at Alive and Social, all of them, are archives. So as Joey had mentioned, you can go back into the archives and listen away. I had mentioned the Senior Showers Project that was just posted this past Tuesday. So check that out. There's also one that we just did the week before on the cruise. And so you can hear from some of the others that will be part of that as well. We also provide dementia chats, which are videos where I interview people with dementia, and they just have these marvelous insights that can really help us all live life a little bit better. On the blog, there's a couple of posts you might want to check into. One is called Anniversaries Aren't Always Happy, and there's also a post out there for an Aging Matters, which was done with Pauline Gordon, who is one of our dementia experts on Dementia Chats. And if you go to that article, you'll be able to watch that. That is something that TPT did, and it was really quite spectacular and very informative. But you can go ahead and click on that link and watch that anytime. In the meantime, just have a blessed week, everybody. And again, don't forget to appreciate one another. Thank you. Bye now.
Well, hi, I'm Lori LeBay, and I wanted to tell you about Alzheimer's Speaks, which is another great podcast. You see, my own mother lived with dementia for 30 years, and I felt lost. Did you know every 3 seconds someone in the world is being diagnosed with dementia? Odds are it's going to hit your families too. We want to help you connect to services, products, tools, research, and stories so you can be prepared. Please subscribe to Alzheimer's Speaks on your favorite podcast platform.